Hello, sports card fans. ZiggyNo back, and we're talking sports cards. Today is 6/9/22. That's right, June 9th, 2022. Today, we're going to talk about what makes a baseball rookie card. And there's 10 commandments, or maybe 5 commandments and 5 other recommendations. We're going to talk a little bit about distribution. We're going to talk about some of the recent videos in the hobby, some kind of tips and tricks from some of the content creators. We're going to go ahead and jump into it. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, even dislike. I don't care. Tell me you don't like it, but then tell me why. If you're gonna dislike it, tell me why you don't dislike. Why? What can I do better? I do listen. I'm listening to you. I don't always do what you tell me to, but I'm listening. Let's go ahead and jump into the content. I'm going to start off with a quick shout out to Go GTS Live. They do a Thursday night show every Thursday night. They break boxes. They give stuff away. Last week, I actually won one of the giveaways. Got the stuff the other day. Loved it. Really excited. Super thankful. I'm probably going to give some of this stuff away on the channel, so look forward to that in the future. And again, just to remind you, check out Hobby Happenings tonight, and they break new product. I'm hoping they break some Prism tonight. So again, I think it's around 9 p.m., 8 o'clock. Go GTS Live. You can tell them Ziggy sent you. We'll talk more about distribution in a moment. Let's go ahead first and talk about what makes a baseball rookie card. Had Bobbles and Ball Card and Victor, the rookie card specialist, talking about this. Now, my highlights, and I do recommend listening to the video, is that the Players Association put together 5 rules for a rookie card back, I think, in the 80s. Victor talks about that. And then Victor added the other 5 hobby rules. So kind of the 10 commandments of what makes a rookie card. Really enjoyed the conversation. Love them going back and forth talking about it. But I had to think to myself, what makes football, hockey, soccer, basketball? What makes those guys rookie cards? So always room. Baseball cards always seem more, like I said, they have a Hall of Fame. They have rookie card rules. There's a lot of room for content creators or leaders to jump up in the hobby and make some stuff happen. Next up was Lucas Tigers and Bronze back after a little, I didn't see them on YouTube yesterday, but I understand they did do a podcast. They had a good conversation with Mitch, who is, I think, Bullpen owner. Yeah, owner of Bullpen. Look, my only comment here, I like listening to these guys, but what kills me about these shows is they don't ask follow-up questions or hard questions. They let you off on, hey, what's your favorite cake? Chocolate? Great, I love chocolate too. They asked Mitch about distribution, and Mitch's answer is, distribution is a must in the hobby. It's an absolute, you must have it. And he goes on to say, everybody wants, the Prism and the NT and the Flawless, but nobody wants, Chronicles and this and that. So distribution is the one to make sure those products are sold. That's not good. Okay. That just means that helps you and it helps manufacturing, because you extort other people. You say, you want some Prism? You got to take some of this crappy product. So think about this. Like if you went to a steak restaurant, like, I'd like to order the filet. Well, sir, in order to have the filet, you must have a bowl of gruel first. Do you really want gruel with your filet? No. There's no free market when you're forcing products down us. Distribution protects the manufacturer from real markets. Okay. Tell me I'm wrong. I love talking about this. I don't want to talk about it now. But this is not good. And again, Cage and Andrew just sit there. They don't ask any follow-ups. Yeah, distribution's great. Yeah. I hope distribution is gone in the future. Tell me why we need it. I need a real good argument here, not some, we need to be able to push garbage product. The hobby's going to change and we'll need to push garbage product. When the hobby changes, then free markets, guys. Let the market determine if it's one product or 10. Okay, let's move on, Ziggy. Next up, really good conversation. It's James, I believe, and then Andy at Football Card Quest. Love this conversation on football. The highlight that I caught my attention was they talk about a break they did. They bought a box of Prism. They had 8 people in it. Everybody paid the same amount of money for the box, so it was equally split. Then they did a draft. We each got 4 teams. The draft, that wasn't a snake draft. It's an auction draft. So it's kind of a fantasy football style auction draft with opening a box of cards. Really, really thought this was awesome. Really did. I'd like to do this myself. In fact, I might try to do this with Fantasy Football Quest and Andy. I'll let you know about it in the future. But again, a creative way to mix up sharing the cost and all your friends getting together and enjoying some hobby. Next up, just a reminder, it's June right now, June 9th. I think it was around a year ago that these Prism debut NFT packs dropped from Panini. Now, Panini, this was a big deal. And I'll say, I have to applaud Panini. In the last year, as Top Shot has just freaking crumbled, as Topps NFTs have just lost value. And I mean that. I have all these ones. The Panini NFTs have done well. I have high hopes. They've also done a lot of development, a lot of community. It has been one of the most responsive products I've ever seen by Panini. Really, really applaud that. Again, I'm not encouraging it. They've been down a lot, so stay away. It's not investment advice. This is free, completely magic in the sky collecting. Okay, guys. But I just want to applaud the year because, dude, Top Shot's dead. Pop who? Okay, great conversation last night. Dustin and Brad. They had Steve on. I really enjoyed this. Steve gave a great comment. They talked about the National. They talked about cards. Steve talked about how he does buying trends based on what he sees in the casino. He works casino in the Delaware area, and he makes buying and selling decisions based on his patterns. Really cool. So do recommend listening to this. He also gives some insights on some buying and selling tricks, what he's been doing. I love this trading down comment that, you know, these big cards, you trade for a $5,000 card, and then if a few weeks later you go liquid, you're probably gonna get 4,000 out of it. But if you take a $5,000 card and trade down for 5 $1,000 cards, you're probably gonna be easier to go liquid on those. And just saying liquid does not mean that sports cards are investments. It's just the truth. Stuff gets liquid. Okay, another great video from Infinite Investment Game. Really enjoy his, again, his different perspective on the hobby. And I like him kind of calling out some of the bias we see from some of the investors and collectors in the hobby. So check it out. I'll let you guys listen more on that. Also want to call some attention to Wade Boggs fan, big fan of his channel, almost at 1,000 subscribers. So go over, give him a sub, leave some comments. Every day he does a card of the day short, which I really enjoy. So I wanted to kind of bring some attention to that. Subscribe. You get to see a Boggs card every day, and he has great information. I believe he's even participating in Hobby Palooza, which should be coming in a few weeks. Breakout Cards, another great channel. If you haven't already subscribed, go over to Breakout Cards. It gives great information on fakes, frauds, altered cards. Also, he goes to every week. He's at a show. This week he's at a non-sports card show and picking up cards. Loved it. Love his insight. He's very, gives great feedback, very involved. Another video I'd quickly touch on. Last video I'll talk about. This is actually from Sports Card Invest. I'm gonna tell you real quickly. Sports Card Invest, I'm not a fan of. Okay, I followed him. He used to be KB Legends. He was a video game channel that switched over to sports cards in 2020. He had about 35,000 subscribers then. So most of the subscribers were pre the sports card. He got out of sports cards like a few months ago, and then went back to sports cards. Now, I look at him and I think to myself, he's kind of like the barometer of like the Gary Vee guy. I was hustling, I was making money because he's selling subscription service, which we'll talk about later on. Is it ethical to sell subscription services in the hobby? And I'm talking not for data tools, but for information, because information is important, right? In fact, one thing that the Lucre Tigers and Bronze guy talked about is how much information he knows about the packs, the products, what's in the packs and products. But anyway, back to this guy. He gives you, in my opinion, different platforms he's using: StockX, MySlabs, Facebook. And when I started listening, I realized, he's just like you and me. He's out there, but he's just trying to profit off it. He's in the same groups, the same trusted environments. Facebook's trusted. MySlabs is vetted, right? He's not a bad buyer or seller. It's just the way he's going about it isn't something I like. Like if I could sit down and talk to him, I'd try to tell him maybe, I don't know, go a little different in your approach. Maybe not be such kind of a hard sale. Think about the other people. I think it's hard to do that. But again, let me just stick close, say, I applaud the hustle. And I also applaud those who listen to the feedback they get from others. So when I criticize or critique, that's really what I'm trying to do. Just give some feedback. And I'll take feedback as well. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, I hope you like that. Again, I will be watching Go GTS Live tonight in the chat. I think they're giving away some stuff. They might be opening prison football. Man, I just really enjoy, as much as I don't like distribution, I like Go GTS Live. It's funny, as much as I've talked about sports cards, I would really enjoy working in the sports card world now. But at the same time, I think it ruined it for me as a hobby. You know what I mean, guys? Does that make sense? Oh, one last story I'll talk about. I heard on TikTok yesterday. Guy told me that a guy was saying that he opened up an eBay account with a zero feedback and was using that account to go bid on cards when they were like, if a $5,000 card was on the market in an auction, he'd bid it up to like 2,000 or 3,000, and that bidding would scare off other bidders. So he was just getting the card for say 4,000 or 3,500 on a $5,000 card. He said he's been doing this over and over using these low feedback accounts that scares people off. And the seller doesn't know if this is being shilled or not. And then when they get paid, there's nothing they can really, they got to sell. It was a really interesting story, but again, it kind of shows you the shadiness. Is the hobby ethical? In fact, here's a great question. I think you ask everybody in the hobby, are you ethical? They all would say yes. If you ask them, are people in the hobby ethical? Or is the hobby an ethical place? Majority would say no. Have a great day.